Howdy again, folks. It's Rick from the Boondocking Bears. One of the great parts of RV living is you get to travel around this continent and see some of the amazing sights that are out there. And we had a chance recently to be in Virginia and took a side trip in to see the Museum of the Confederacy and the Confederate White House in Richmond, Virginia. Listen, if you get a chance and you like American history, this is the place to go. Check it out. I think you're going to enjoy it. Well, we drove up the peninsula from Norfolk, and it was really neat passing all of the cotton fields, which, you know, had 100,000 Union troops trampling over it 150 years ago, and of course was so much the cause of the Civil War. So we got to the Museum of the Confederacy, and the Confederate White House is attached to it, and we took a tour of the White House, and it was quite spectacular, and it was really interesting because you know there was so much history in that building. We saw the parlor where Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis met, and the nursery in his office, and the little butler cupboard where a lot of the messages came from. And the guide was really good. He knew his stuff, and he allowed us to ask questions, and it was really, really interesting. So once the tour was over, we went over to the museum. And it's 3 floors, and it's all Confederate history. It's all Confederate uniforms and artifacts. And there were 2 things that really caught my attention. Having studied the Civil War for so long, to see the actual tent, the bed, the little desk that Robert E. Lee sat at and wrote out his orders, his eating utensils, the actual tent that he used during the war was pretty profound. And also Stonewall Jackson's famous Forage Cap. Of course, it's all turned black now with discoloration over the years, but there it was, the actual hat that he had worn in the Valley Campaign and throughout the war until his death in May of 1863. So if you're in the area and you get a chance, really, you should do yourself a favor and visit this Museum of the Confederacy and the Confederate White House. They are pretty spectacular. They've done a wonderful job with them, and I think you'll enjoy it. They are both very important parts of American history, and in my opinion, a place that everyone should visit.